What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of G4 Outdoors. Today we're going to go over my 2020 rod and reel setup. We're also going to discuss brand loyalty versus the best bang for your buck when you're out buying your brand new rod and reel. Stick around.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I just dream of fishing while I'm going through my workday. I listen to my boss, though he's driving me berserk. Damn it, I can't take much more because my brain is really hurting. And now the bank is always calling and I don't know what to do. And I haven't bought a crankbait since like 1992. But the bass are out there schooling and they're ready to attack. And I got all my favorite lures and they're loaded in my pack. All that stress that's in my body's always driving me insane. When I'm reeling in that buzzbait, it just seems to go away. Now you see, fishing ain't a habit, it's a passion in my soul. When I'm casting and I'm smashing.
In no particular order, we're going to start off with my Pflueger Presidential on a 7-foot medium light St. Croix. Now I really do like this combo. It's got a really nice flexible tip on it. Really good action. This is basically my crappie gear. This is what I would use to go crapping. It is a lot of money, and there is something that I want to talk about paying too much for a rod and reel combo. But I really do like this. I wouldn't get rid of it. I necessarily wouldn't buy it again though either. It's a really nice combo, and like I say, it's just for crappie for now. There's a lot of money in there. I'll go over that. Now this one here is just a toy. It's an ugly stick rod, and it has a Shakespeare reel on it. As you can see, this one here is super little, and I only bought this as a toy just to have fun. It's got 6-pound line on here, and the only reason I bought this is to catch big fish with it. Just to have some fun, so that, you know, there's tons of action in here, so whatever you catch, you're gonna feel like you have a 50-pound fish on here, and that's the only reason I bought this, was just to have fun with it. Now this setup here is the Abba Garcia Revo Premier 20 on top of a Abba Garcia Ike series rod. Now this right here is a really good setup. Again, we're talking a lot of money on this one. This is a 7-foot medium rod, so this one here is a really great bass fishing rod and reel. And you know, when we talk about expensive setups on your rods, you'll need to look up the price of the Premier 20 on the Abba Garcia. It's a lot of money, and it's already broke. I've had to replace a part in here. As you can see, the bell does not stay closed. I have that part inside, I just need to put it in here. But when you're spending money on expensive rod and reels versus cheap ones, you're still going to break parts, and you're still going to have to repair those parts. When you get an expensive one, you're going to have to go more into repairing your rod and reels. If you buy a cheaper one, you're probably better off just going off and buying a new one. Now, as things start to break and start to break and start to break, these more expensive ones can actually lead into more money than what they're worth. Luckily, this was only a 50-cent part that I had to repair it, and I'll get on that soon. But anyway, this setup right here is excellent for bass. I also use this for small panfish, just well, because it's handy. I keep this one with me quite a bit, so it is kind of an all-around rod, but mostly for bass. Now we're going to get into one of my budget setups. This is the Black Max 20 reel on top of a cheap Quantum. Actually, this was a broken reel that Andy gave me. The butt of it broke off. He just cut it there, put a new butt pad on there. But this is a 6.6 medium, and this is a great rod and reel combo. Even though the Black Max series is a very cheap series to get into, it's a very good reel. I would buy these over and over again just for the price of them. It's smooth, it casts good. Well, they're all going to cast good on this series of reel. When you get into the bait casters, you'll notice a little bit of difference between the $50 reels and the $100 reels when it comes to the Abba Garcia series. But this Quantum rod, you know, it's I wouldn't necessarily call this one a cheap rod, but you know, medium price rod. But this rod and reel combo right here is really great just to fish anything with. This one here will go to most of the ponds with me. I don't think this one sees the boat too much though. I think this one right here is really, being it's already broke, there's not much money into it. This is the one I'm most of the time going to throw into the back of the truck, take to a pond, something I'm not going to care to throw around on the ground, just leave them laying around. And I can't really say that for some of the other rod and reels I have. Next, I want to talk about the Abba Garcia 6500 C3 and C4 combos. Now these right here are my catfishing rod and reels solely. That's their only purpose, is for catfish. You know, I put them all on ugly sticks. Ugly sticks is something that I've believed in since my gosh, this reel right here is over 20 years old. I'm on my second set of ugly stick rods. One thing that I did notice about ugly sticks, even though they are super strong, superior to almost any brand out there, over a period of time, 10 years, they will start to get brittle on the tips, and you can actually break one of these in half. I think I have a video on that. Hey, did you guys just watch a video on G4 Outdoors on Instagram of someone breaking a rod because it was old and broken? Yeah, my name's Andy. This is what we do with our old rods. Oh, ugly sticks do break. So that is my catfishing rod and reel setup, and this is where I come into brand loyalty. Like Abba Garcia, I love the name, I love their products. They make cheap stuff, they make super expensive stuff. The expensive stuff most of the time is going to last just as long as the cheap stuff. These reels right here I think are around $135 to $175, I'm not really sure. These are old enough that I paid $70, $75 brand new for these. And you cannot go wrong with the Abba Garcia 6500s. But this is where I got my brand loyalty for Abba Garcia, was just from these and going catfishing. These were the most reliable reels that I've ever had. They're still reliable today. All you gotta do is go in, grease them up, oil them up, just take care of them and keep them clean. These 6500s last you a lifetime. Now I do got two more of these behind me. I'm not gonna go through them specifically because they are the same thing. Same rods, same reels, same line. I like all these setups just the way they are. Now we're going to talk about best bang for your buck when it comes to rod and reel combos. Here I have my Lew's Speed Spool Super Duty with 11 bearings in it. It's a great reel. What's this, topped on a Daiwa 7-foot medium. This is one of my daily drivers right here. This will go with me to the pond. This one goes with me on the boat. This one's pretty much with me all the time, along with my Abba Garcia Premier 20. These are the two, oh, no, it's not open face. These are the two that go with me all the time. I love this reel. It's really smooth. I got the line tied up in a knot right now. I lost lure, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. But, you know, the Lew's lineup, and the reason why I like and prefer the Lew's lineup, you can get a $50 combo, and you can go, I think, all the way up to $400 on a Lew's combo. So they cover the gamut of all rod and reel sizes, what you can afford, what you can't afford. You know, they just cover the whole thing. Another really cool thing about the Lew's product is they come in green, orange, lime green, blue. I know that they have a ton of fun colors that you can use, and that's another reason why I like them. I don't have them right here, but we do have some green setups, orange, and we do have the colors. And that's one thing I like about the Lew's, is there's a little bit of flash in them, and it's a lot more fun to fish with something that looks cool. Not only do they look cool, they are quality products. At $50, you know, is this one here a $50? Yes, this one here is a $50 reel. It casts just the same as a $150 bait caster. It reels in just the same. And the best thing about $50, if one of these breaks, it's so much easier just to go out and buy a new one. instead of replacing one of these, depending on how much it's broke. Of course, a lot of pieces in here are cheap, but by the time this one breaks, it's probably going to be outdated, and you're probably going to want a new one anyway. And that's where we're going to run into expensive rod and reels and why I sway away from them, because they're going to last just as long as any of your other rod and reels. Now when it comes to the Abba Garcia 6500 series, those are all steel, all metal. Those are not going to wear out as quickly as any other rod and reel. Like I say, those will last you a lifetime. These right here, I wouldn't say they're designed to wear out, but they don't have the most quality products in them to make them run like they should. So they're kind of designed to wear out. I think they do plan on that. So, you know, when you're out buying your new rod and reel, I really wouldn't go out and look for the most expensive. It's just not worth it. What you get in return, you will get a little bit smoother of a reel. When you're reeling it in, you will notice a little bit smoother. And that's the same with your rods. You will notice a little bit smoother. The better of a rod you go with, the smoother it's going to be. But is it worth the money and upgrading to those products? I really don't think that it is. Let's go into my next lose. Now we're going to look at another lose combo that I have. This one right here is also a speed spool Super Duty. Model is the SD1SH. This right here is a great rod and reel for the money. This one right here is somewhere around the price of $150, $175 as well. I just really like this one. This one right here is great for bass fishing. Again, heavy lures, crankbaits, and all that. I just really like this one, and it's on a Lew's custom speed stick rod as well. You buy this as a combo. Just great setups. And you know, like I say again, if you're looking on the shelf and you see a black rod and reel, black rod and reel, black rod and reel, and then there's a Lew's right in the center of there. Take a Crush, for example, all orange and white, or their green ones, green and white, just super cool looking. Naturally, you're probably going to want to get that colorful one. It's just more fun to fish with a colorful one. That's where I'm going to make a difference between brand loyalty, which is Abba Garcia for me, and then what is the best bang for your buck. And I'm going to say Lew's is probably your best bang for your buck when it comes to combo setups. The color, the quality. You know, you can buy a cheap Lew's and I promise you it feels just the same as a $150 baitcaster from Abba Garcia. You'll notice a difference, but it's not going to be much. It's not going to be a $100 difference that you're going to feel. That's just why I like Lew's so much, and I would recommend anybody to go out and buy a Lew's of any caliber. Start off with a $50 combo. I guarantee you'll like it. After that, step up into a $150 combo. From the $50 to $150 combo, you will notice a difference in the smoothness of the reel. But $150 and up, the difference is negligible, and you're not really going to get your money's worth. It's not worth an extra $150 to jump all the way up into $300. As a matter of fact, I was watching a Bill Dance video not too long ago. He was out on his own personal dock catching catfish, and what he was using was a Lew's Crush combo. So, you know, it's not just that they're cheap. They're not cheap. They're quality products. The pros use them when they're not on TV with their own sponsored products. So I think Lew's is a great setup. So guys, that's my 2020 setup on my rod and reel combos. I've got a lot more lures that I could show on this, but we're just going over rod and reels today. I hope any of the information that I brought you today helps you in some way. If you're out there buying new rod and reels, take into consideration what I said. It's not really about spending the most amount of money. It's about getting the most out of your product for your money. And for that, I would choose Lew's. If you're going catfishing or something like that, I would stick with the Abba Garcias. I really would. 20 plus years I've had those and not a single problem with them so far. But if I was to go out today, buy a new one right off the shelf, it's going to be a Lew's. So anyways, if you like this video, stick around for some more. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.
Spent the night and a half the cage, couldn't wait to get back home.
grass and gums.